Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Hold the Ball. I hope you guys are well. I'm well. Yeah, I've got someone beside me who's a regular, in some ways. A friend of mine, good friend of mine, Warriors NRL Fanatics. What's been happening, man? And what have you been up to?
Yeah, it's good to see you again. Hold the ball. Obviously we caught up at Magic Round in Brisbane, and boy, what a weekend that was. Even though the result didn't go our way in terms of our team, but it was still a great weekend. Obviously, me and you got to catch up there at the Lord Alfred Hotel for the Warriors fans meet up. Massive, shout out to Ruin Hammer and the Warrior Nation, Richie Morgan, who ran that event. It was an awesome event. A lot of Warriors supporters there, content creators as well, and it was good to catch up with you and everyone else at that meet-up event. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Actually, really enjoyed the event and the day out as well, watching the footy. So yeah, it was great to catch up with you, and it was always a memorable event. The Magic Round. It's always one of the best events on the NRL calendar. So yes, it was all great, and I really enjoyed that.
No, look, I absolutely enjoyed you as well. And just quickly as well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hold the Ball. This is Locked on Warriors episode 12. I hope you guys are here and doing well. And hope you guys enjoyed the little background I made for you guys as well. I thought I'd try to make it more of an emphasis on the Warriors. So, yeah, look, Magic Round, I guess whilst we're on the subject here, thank you, Fanatics. It was so good. It was so good to be there. Again, hats off to Ruin Hammer and Warrior Nation who hosted and such a great event. One where we can just mingle together, be fans and just laugh and get together and just have a good time, And for me, being from Port Augusta, it's so surreal being able to be there in Queensland, in Brisbane, at the Lord Alfred, seeing the likes of yourself, Fanatics, and Wobbling Jaw as well, which was always a pleasure to see. And again, Warriors Anonymous as well, right? It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just seeing everyone there, and I thought it was just such a very good time, full of laughter, celebration. And like you said, unfortunately, the Warriors couldn't get the cookies, but it's okay. It's okay. A little bit frustrated, but that's cool. It is what it is. But nonetheless, it was beautiful, and I'm a huge fan of Magic Round, and absolutely loved it, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get straight into it, right? So, Insanity, here's a random match for you guys. 3, 2, 1. Bang. All right, so we got 2009 on the 7th of June, ANZ Stadium, Sydney, round 25 against the Bulldogs. Bulldogs, unfortunately, won this game here 40 points to 20. Watuve as well as Rapira scoring 2 tries apiece. Conversions there was Stacey Jones, and we remember Stacey Jones had that comeback in 2009. We played that one season, which I thought was really cool yet so strange and weird at the same time. Do you remember that match there, bro, against the Bulldogs, 2009?
2009. Yeah, it probably is a short memory for me. I was quite young back then, obviously. Being 96, I was born. So,
yeah.
I don't remember this game all too fondly, but interesting enough, obviously we didn't win that game, but Stacey Jones, that year, he made his comeback. Was retired for quite a while and then came back. So I remember the year, obviously, with Stacey Jones making that comeback.
Yeah, I just quickly. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments there. Hope you guys are well. Thank you again for joining in. Look, I remember this game vaguely. I was pretty excited. I really thought this was a game here that we would win, but obviously, if I remember, 2009 wasn't a good year for us. I was about 16, 17, so HCB was a bit of a youngin'. But yeah, like I said, what do you sort of do there? I remember Watuve and Rapira beasting it that game there, but not too much. And unfortunately there, losing that game, not a good look. Yeah, it wasn't great. It was not great at all. Anyway, quickly, bang. Metcalf is back, baby. Fanatics, please give me your thoughts on this. And just quickly as well, obviously, Metcalf is back, but he's been selected for the New South Wales squad to versus the Bulldogs. But give me your thoughts on this, bro.
Yeah, so look, I'm very pleased to see that Metcalf is back. Obviously, he had that injury in the preseason. Have been out for quite a while, and we saw some pictures over the past couple of weeks of him return to training, and that was a sign that he was on, closing in on a return. So, look, I mean, there's a lot of debate whether the Warriors probably should have, selected him in the first grade side this week, being that he's fully fit in that. But, you know what, I think this is a way to, just, ease him back into footy. I mean, I think rushing him to start this week probably would have been the right. I don't think it would have been right to do it just this week. I mean, just give him a few games and see how it goes. But yeah, look, I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes in the cup side this week. I'm sure he'll, kill it. He's a very talented player, and there's been a lot of set around him. So yeah, it's great to see him back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose if I can follow on with that as well, if you're selected, it would have been a bit of a disservice to Walkman. Right, because Walkman's been playing week to week. He's been fit. He's been healthy. He's been kicking butt, over the NRL, the New South Wales Cup. And for Metcalf to get a jump ahead of him, I don't think would have been a good look, in all honesty. So, again, like you said, it's all about throwing Metcalf back into the swing of things, getting his body adjusted, getting his mind right, and no better time to do it, than obviously for the New South Wales Cup, which is good. Anyway, we go into this not so magical, I guess, review, if you will.
Yes.
Fanatics, can you please give me your thoughts on this game, and I'll follow suit.
So yeah, look, I thought this game was very physical. I thought you could see that the defense between both sides. There was a lot of big hits early on this game, and it was a bit of a grind early on. Actually, it took a while for some points to be scored. Obviously, the Warriors scored first, tried there to Adam Blake. It was a great try, I thought, in my opinion. And, there's been talks around the officiating over the past couple of weeks. Look, I think in this game, there was some questionable calls, no doubt about it. They had the hip drop tackle with Jackson Ford. Personally, I don't think that was a sin bin. And then we had the Dimitri Sifakula for striking action on, I think it was one of the Penrith players, can't remember who it was, but he was sent in as well. So we had that, and then we had an issue with, an injury, unfortunately, to Ed Cozy. Now, Ed Cozy was confirmed today that he's facing 5 to 6 weeks on the sideline. So yeah, that's tough news for Ed Cozy, because I think Ed Cozy's been playing pretty well, even in our losses. It's sad. It's gutting to hear that he's going to be missing this next 5 to 6 weeks. I believe it was a knee injury, if I'm wrong there, but 5 to 6 weeks is quite a while. So hopefully he has a speedy recovery. But yeah, we had that issue, and then from there on, you looked at the Warriors' attack, especially. I think our attack. Watching the game back on the Monday, I watched it back on replay. Even though I watched it live, I decided you have to watch it back on replay because you see a bit more on the TV than what you see at the ground. So, look, I think for me it was just like our ruck speed. I think our ruck speed wasn't great. I think the attack was just not there. Bearing that we scored one try, so. I mean, defensively we were right. We were solid. Yeah. We were right. Yeah. But the scoreline read 18-6. Now, I don't think 18-6 was a fair reflection on the game. I thought we were a lot closer than that, personally, in terms of the scoreboard. But look, I can't fault our efforts. I cannot fault our efforts at all. I mean, the past couple of weeks I've never been faulting our efforts, because we've been in all the games, we've not been blown away. That's the main thing. You haven't been blown away. So, look, in the end, Penrith did what they needed to do. I think they weren't convincing either. But, even, I think it was Nathan Cleary after the game. He said it was one of the most toughest and physical games that he's played in a while. So, that's giving a huge credit to the Warriors there from Nathan Cleary to say that, But look, at the end of the day, Penrith got the win. they got the 2 points, and that's all that matters. The team obviously coming into this game, it was always going to be a difficult challenge to take on a team that's come off back-to-back losses and a team that's won back-to-back premierships. So, look, I think we can hold our head high in this game, especially the way we, showed up and gave it our real all. But in the end, Penrith, did the job and got the win in the end. Even though, I know some people that will be pissed off with the officiating, especially the CEO, which we'll probably talk about in the One New Zealand CEO who had a bit of words to say there. So I'm sure we'll get into that soon. But yeah, look, Panthers won the game. The Warriors, the efforts were there, but just weren't good enough. We just weren't good enough at the end of the day. So that's how I sum it up pretty much.
Yeah, look, I agree. And you and I actually had a yarn as well whilst I was in Queensland. We caught each other and just had a chat about the game. And I mentioned it to you, and I think I'll say it again. It's not Dylan Walker's fault, but it's quite clear to me that the Warriors are lacking an actual 5'8", right? Obviously, there's been a lot of yarning, conversating about the fact that we've only scored 6 points in 160 minutes, right? That's 2 games, in other words.
Yeah.
And and obviously as detrimental as that stat is, that fact, sorry, I still think for mine, it's not as bad as you think as it is when you put into consideration that the Warriors are still without a proper 5'8" in the likes of Te Maire Martin. Now, I'll get to Volkman, obviously, as we go through the selection there, so I think I'll leave that for now. But in other words, again, I'm not going to blame Walker, but yes, there is a disconnect because Walker's not a 5'8", all right? It is what it is, all right? He's a utility. He's a benchman in the most respective way. I just think that's where he works better from. And, we're struggling for points, but the reality is it's just what happens when you, and as Fanatics mentioned as well, have injuries. And obviously Edward Gossi, unfortunately, falling injury. I will say this though. I was about 5 rows out from the game, so I actually saw the Warriors really closely. The boys came out the tunnel and I was shouting like an absolute ape. I was a madman. Loved it though, and Ford, it was actually able to high five Ford as well as he came out, which was pretty cool. It was just a surreal feeling, because these, as we both know, as Fanatics and I, we both love the Warriors. So obviously, if you see the Warriors up close, it's just an awesome feeling. But in saying that though, with Gossi, when he had the injury and he came into the tunnels, I knew something wasn't right when he was crying. I thought, gee, was not good. And obviously, thankfully, I'm assuming that Gossi thought it was an ACL. That's what I'm assuming. That's why I think Gossi was crying, because I thought he thought it was an ACL. Thankfully, though, as Fanatics just confirmed there, it's not. It's about 6 to 5 weeks, I think, is what he said. So that's good. So I'm happy about that. Look, the game, I thought it was grind. It was a grinding game, even to the end. Regards to this, even if it was 6 points to 18. I will say though that there was just moments in the game, and I don't want to get too much into the refs here, but again, we need to attack. Again, we need to defend. I get it. Yes. To everyone who keeps reminding us every single day on social media, yes, we understand that. Okay. But at the same time as well, anyway. I thought, Anyway, we'll leave it at that. It was a tough, grinding game, and a game where I think if we had our best of the best, in other words, a 5'8", I think we could have gone a bit differently, in my opinion. Anyway, so your thoughts on Shaun Johnson in the game? What are your thoughts on Shaun Johnson and his performance against the Panthers?
Look, I thought Shaun Johnson was trying hard. I thought he was trying his best. To get the boys up. And you saw when he made that kick and got the Warriors to try to get a Warriors a repeat set of 6. He was trying to pump up the boys. You can see that. You can tell he was, very emotional. He wanted to get this team, try and get back in the game. He was trying his hardest. And I think, obviously there's been a lot of, probably for me, as the talking point is his kicking. He's been doing a lot of the kicking lately. Well, since being back, obviously he's been doing a lot more responsibility with the kicking game, and I think he's kicking pretty well. In his short kicking game as well, and I think in this game, I think he was doing his best for the team. He was trying his best for the team. I think he, it looked like there was a lot riding on Sean Johnson more, in this game, because I don't think Dylan Walker was. Look, no, I don't want to blame Dylan Walker, for the game, but I think there was a lot more responsibility on Sean Johnson, in this game, for me. So, but I think overall, if you look at it the way he played, I thought he played great. And I had him up there for my man of the match in my 3-2-1. So, yeah, I think he was good. I thought Sean Johnson was good. And I think he was probably one of our best players out there on the field as well, with the likes of I think in our forwards were Adam Fanua-Blake as well. I thought he played well too. So, yeah.
Absolutely, he did. Look, I don't want to comment too much. I think Sean. I think Fanatics has done a good job explaining it. I will say though that Sean Johnson looks so much like a leader this year compared to what he did last year.
Yeah.
Magic round last year. When I saw him play against the Rabbitohs, he didn't. Yeah, he just didn't exuberate that confidence. He didn't show that confidence. And this year, Sean Johnson is out and out looking like an absolute leader. And I know, look, I'm just going to say this quickly. I cannot wait to see him next year, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Anyway, okay, so we're moving on to the next one here. All right. Tohu Harris, bro, the captain, Tohu Harris. What are your thoughts on Tohu Harris?
Okay, so look, I think Harris obviously coming into this game was, I wasn't too sure whether he would play. I mean, obviously, he was coming back from an injury. And it was earlier than a lot of people expected, including myself. I was a bit surprised that he was going to be back that week at Magic Round. And obviously, he was clear to play. He was clear to play that week. And I thought he was good. Harris is a player that we is for us is a reliable player. In the side. So I thought he was good. I thought he was great. Leading the team onto the field in terms of the forwards as well. So I thought he was very good actually. Tohu Harris. I thought he was outstanding.
Yeah, look, it's so funny. It's ironic in the sense that our season literally depends on Tohu Harris's knees, honestly, because without him, we are a different team. With him on the field, you feel confident. You feel like things can be done. Without him, you're just unsure, right? So again, Tohu Harris, a decent performance. Again, coming back from the injury, obviously, and that beautiful ball he sent to Adam Fanua-Blake was just marvelous. To us, John Campbell there, if you will, to any of the Kiwi viewers there. When I was good, it was good, and it was good to see him back in the paddock for sure. All right, Adam Fanua-Blake, Fanatics, what are your thoughts on this game?
Well, I think I just touched on a little bit of Adam Fanua-Blake when I was talking about Johnson, I think it was. So, look, Adam Fanua-Blake, like I said there, he is come up against some of the great forwards over the past couple of weeks. We had Penrith, we had Roosters, we also had the Storm. So, in all of those games, he stood out. He's played absolutely outstanding in our forwards. So, Fanua-Blake, probably not more I could say, really, is just that he's been great. He's been outstanding for us in that forward pack, in the forwards. And, he's getting his running meters are pretty good as well in terms of stats as well. So, look, what can I say? Adam Fanua-Blake's had a very good game. He really matched it with the Penrith pack as well. So, I thought it was good.
Yeah, look, just to add on this quickly as well, and again, well said, Fanatics. Adam Fanua-Blake, I think he's grown into a player, a good player. As the weeks have gone by, I think he's gotten better and better, which is quite ironic when you realize that Adam Fanua-Blake doesn't really have a tag team partner. You know what I mean? Normally you have props where one prop and the other prop, both of them are, smashing and bashing, if you will, on the paddock. And unfortunately, it's not quite the case. Adam Fanua-Blake, in my opinion, is doing a lot of the bashing and crashing. And obviously, you got Tohu Harris there. But respectfully, I just don't think he has the same impact as what Adam Fanua-Blake has obviously being the much larger player and obviously playing at prop, right, running continuously into the forward line there. He's doing a lot of work on his own. and that's, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just think he just really is coming into his own. He's really grown and actually has gotten better this year. I really think and I really hope that we can find the next prop pairing with him, that can give as much as he does, because if he does, if we have a prop who can give as much as he does, I think we'll be a lot more better for it in the long run. And saying that, obviously, granted, I thought doing good. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying he's not. Absolutely not. But in saying that, though, Edison will like hats off to him. And just quickly on Bunty, I'll say this, guys, ladies and gentlemen, because I was about 5 rows out. When we scored the try, Edison Black scored the try. Obviously, the Penrith Panthers kicked off to us. And as the Penrith Panthers did, I heard this chant by the Warriors band. I'm hearing it, and it's going, Bunty, Bunty. And you could feel this course of energy and just surge through your body, bro. I was like, damn. Because as soon as they said, Bunty, Bunty, guess what happened? Bunty took the hit up, bro. Just bag, smash straight into the Penrith Pan. Sorry, just put sidetrack there, but I just love that. I felt like I wanted the ball. I was like, give me the ball this time here. That was just so good. That connection between player on the field and us fans, Warriors fans, it was nice. And it's very nice. Something that doesn't get talked about. Anyway, I continue on. Chances called Cookstad Fanatics. Give me your thoughts on this player.
Look, I thought he had a solid game. Yeah, I thought we had a very solid game. Chance Nickel Cookstad. Look, obviously, if you looked at the fullback battle going into this game, Dylan Edwards, he was up against Dylan Edwards. Now, personally, I thought that Dylan Edwards obviously probably had the better game on the fullback spot. Not to say CNK had a bad game. I don't think he was terrible at all. I thought he was all right. I thought he was solid, did his job pretty well. But if you looked at who won the fullback battle on the field, and that was Edwards. Dylan Edwards, I know this is completely off topic, but Dylan Edwards was outstanding. So if you look at CNK, look, I thought he was solid. I thought he had a solid game. I wouldn't say it was an outstanding game from him, but I thought it was solid in what he did.
Yeah, look, I agree. I will touch on 2 points though. Unfortunately, there were 2 points in the game there where he did have a bit of an error, a bit of a drop ball, if you will. And I believe the first one unfortunately led to a try. That's after we scored, I believe. And the second one, I think, when he dropped it, that also led to a try, or there or thereabouts. Overall, though, like you said, it wasn't the best game I've seen from Charles Cookstad, but it was definitely a game where I think he'll reflect on this and do a lot better heading into the Bulldogs game. That's for damn sure. If there's one thing about CNAC is that we all know he's a player who prides himself on getting better, and obviously he's not one to, he doesn't rest his laurels. A lot of the time I see CNAC as a player who tries to get better, and I think coming to this Bulldogs game, expect him to be a lot better this time around, in my opinion. All right, last but not least, before we head into the Bulldogs and Warriors preview, Freddie Lussick, because obviously it was a last-minute thing. I wasn't even aware of it. But when Egan went onto the bench, and obviously Freddie Lussick, Freddie Mercury, if you will, headed and played ahead of him. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting, actually. I was a bit surprised. I wasn't expecting that sort of change by Webby. But I looked at it from a different point of view, as I understand what Webb was trying to do, what he was trying to accomplish there, because he wanted to have, I think he wanted to have Wade Egan come off the bench, it's like provide a bit of impact. So I could see where he was going at with that move. Now, I thought it actually worked all right. I thought Freddie Lussick I thought it was okay. I thought he played an all right game. Obviously, for me, I probably prefer Wade Egan more, but Freddie Lussick is a solid sort of player, to have in the side. So, yeah, I thought he was all right in this game too. So, yeah, how do I say this? So Freddie Lussick for me, yeah. Look, I mean, he wasn't a standout, but I thought he did his job pretty well. So that's probably for me how I saw Freddie Lussick's performance. I just thought he did his job pretty well on the field for us. And when Wade Egan came on, he did play quite a few minutes as well. So look, I probably wouldn't go that way this week against the Dogs on Friday. I'd have Wade Egan play the full, start off at hooker. That's the way I'd go, and have Freddie Lussick come on. So yeah, that's probably the way I would do it against the Dogs this week.
Yeah. No, understood. I will say though, Freddie Lussick defensively, he was very sound. He was very sound against a rampaging Penrith team. I believe there was a stage there where Moses Leota had the ball in hand and he just ran full steam ahead. And guess who was there to meet him? Freddie Lussick met him one-on-one. Now, obviously, it eventuated, and obviously, I believe it was Toby Harris or someone else came and joined them with the pointers. And the point of impact, Freddie Lussick met him, and Freddie Lussick actually stopped him dead in his tracks. So it was actually good to see. Freddie Lussick for mine is, look, respectfully, he still has his learners, right? Obviously, when you compare him to Wade Egan, he's still got his learners. He's still learning the ropes, if you will. Obviously, I see him as the main hooker for the team once, when Egan goes, and I hope that's not anytime soon. So I say this, obviously, with no malice. But Freddie Lussick is the future of our, the future hooker for the Warriors, in my opinion. And again, seeing him play like that again, last minute as well. And as Fanatics said, he did the job. He did the job well. And that's all he wanted. And, there was no hiccups. There was no major errors. It was just a good standard Freddie Lussick game. And it was good to see him, and play there, and obviously in flesh as well. He's a good player, and a good player for the future for sure. All right. We spoke about the Warriors having 11 days, 3 games in 11 days. Well, how about 4 games in 17 days, Fanatics? So the Warriors suit up against the Bulldogs over at over in Sydney. I guess in saying that we've got the squads here via phone. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have them up on the screen. Sorry, guys. But the Warriors squad, Fanatics, obviously you've had some time to have a mull over the squad. What are your thoughts on the Warriors squad, and I'll follow suit?
Yeah, so I've got this team that's on screen here on my laptop, just looking at it here. So we got fullback there's Chancellor Cookstad, Dylan Martinez-Lesniak, and coming into the centres this week is returning to play first grade for the very first time this year. It is Rocco Berry, the man himself, Rocco Berry.
Yes.
How bloody good! How bloody good! It's awesome to see. Me and Hold the Ball are massive fans of Rocco Berry. There's a lot of people that aren't big fans of him. There's already some people doubting the selection, which personally I just say give the young bloke a go and see how he goes.
Yes. Exactly.
So, yeah, look, you got Rocco Berry there. He's partnering Adam Pompey in the centres. Obviously, no Edward Cozy, which is a bit of a shame there, which is gutting. But Marcelo Montoya, he's on the wing there. And as well as another in to the side this week is Ronald Volkman in the 5'8" spot, partnering Sean Johnson, the halves there. So it's going to be interesting to see how Ronald Volkman goes. Obviously, the last time we saw him in first grade probably wasn't one of his best games, but I think it was up against Cronulla. And, it was no easy task coming up against someone like the Sharks. So, and really, he didn't have much time, I personally think. But you also got, I think the side overall, if you look at the side, you got Josh Curran in the second row this week, which is very interesting, which is good to see Josh Curran's still in the starting lineup this week. But he's in a different position, so he's moved into the second row. So, look, overall, if you look at the Warriors squad this week, for me, it's a very interesting squad, isn't it? It's a very interesting squad. I think obviously we're still missing some players due to injury. But overall, I think this is a squad that's more than capable on Friday night. of getting the job done. And I think personally, from my point of view, this is a game we must win. I know it's in Sydney. I know it's against the Dogs, but we have to win this game going into the bye. We've got a bye next week, so we need to, break this losing streak. I think it's a 3-game losing streak at the moment. We need to break it, and we need to beat the Dogs side on Friday night in Sydney. So overall, looking at the Warriors squad, I got to say it's a very good squad, and I think it's a squad that's more than capable of getting out and getting the result on Friday night, which we really need to do.
Absolutely. Look, apologies there. I'm not going to name the squad list. I'm sure we've all seen it, so I guess I'll just get straight into it. Rocco Berry is back, baby. I'm so happy about that. Again, Fanatics and I are huge pro-Berry fans, and it's going to be good to see how he goes. Again, I believe he'll be up against Paul Alamotti as well. That'll be his opposite. So, again, talk about physical encounters, but I'm backing Rocco Berry. Another one as well, obviously, is the Volkinator, Ronald Volkman. He's back. Now, granted, he's at 5'8", and again, I touched on this with Fanatics as well when we had a bit of a call as well when I was in Queensland. And we'll talk about this more in depth as well, Fanatics. We will, but Volkman is not a 5'8". Respectfully, he's not.
Yeah, he's not. Yep.
He's not. Respectfully, and I'm not taking anything away from him, not at all.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I think he's actually better suited as a halfback. But obviously, our halfback is Sean Johnson, so you just got to line up and say your P's and Q's, right? And just take it as is. Obviously, we see Dylan Walker now transitioning back to where he belongs, respectfully, back into the bench, where he will add a lot of added power, star power, if you will, coming off from the bench, a bit of bravado, a bit of glitz and glamour, if you will, whatever it may be. But again, he'll be able to feed off Sean Johnson and give us that Jazz Tavanga effect, if you will, and saying that hopefully Jazz Tavanga's back soon-ish, but we'll have to wait and see. The squad itself is good. Obviously, there's no Jackson Ford as well due to the HIA, but Sifakula keeps his spot in the bench, and obviously Tom Ale as well there returns. Is on the bench. Suriname, the 18th man. Look, it's a decent squad. Wade Egan should be starting too. I love the fact that Josh Curran's is starting at the second row. Overall, it's a good squad, and just to literally follow and mirror what Fanatics was saying, it's a must-win game. We've lost our 3 games, right? 3 last games we've lost. This game here is not only just a must-win; it's a game that is winnable. And obviously, we got the bye next week, so heading into next week, having this win here in the bye win, that's 4 points, is something you definitely want, in my opinion. So, in saying that, though, you have to wait and see. Now, on the other end of the coin, obviously, we've got the Bulldogs. So, conversely, if you will, we got the Bulldogs. Did you want to just go in there, just touch on their squad there, just briefly, Fanatics, and I'll
I'll go. Yeah, I'll go through. I won't go through the whole squad because that'll take a long time. But I'll go through some players that I want to touch on. So, obviously, you got the Bulldogs here with the big. Actually, I think he's included. I'm not too sure. Is it? No. Adokar, where is he? Oh, yes, there he is. Yep, he is in the side there. So, Josh Adokar, I want to talk about him. He's the big inclusion, returning from an injury, which for me probably was a surprise that he's back so soon. I think the biggest question mark for me for Adokar is whether they're rushing him back so quickly. Obviously, State of Origin is around the corner for New South Wales, and he's probably someone who really wants to get back in the fold for selection. So, Josh Adokar is a big in for the Dogs, but obviously there's a big question mark whether he'll be 100% fit for this game. So, maybe the Warriors can target him a bit and see if he is really fit there. But you've also got Matt Burton. Matt Burton's definitely the key for the Dogs here in regards to the halfback. He's playing the halfback spot there, and he's the captain. So overall, if you look at the Bulldogs lineup, and you got Reid Marnie there, a very good hooker, Tavita Pangai Jr. in the prop position there. So overall for the Bulldogs, I think those for me are just those for me are the key players for the Bulldogs. And I think you look at the Bulldogs squad and compare it to the Warriors squad. Look, I think the Warriors, for me, probably may have the better squad on the field. Obviously, the Bulldogs have got some very good players here, but the Warriors have got a few more. I think they offer a few more in terms of their forwards. So, yeah, if I was to look at the Dogs squad overall, I think the Dogs squad's good, but I think the Warriors have got the squad, over the Bulldogs, in terms of, a bit of firepower in the forwards there. So that's just what I personally believe. So, yeah, that's I reckon the Dogs squad overall is a good squad, and I think the Warriors squad has probably got a bit more in terms of, just their four pack. I think the Warriors have got a better four pack personally.
Yep. No, agreed. Well said.
Yeah.
How funny is it that the Warriors, our game against the Storm, Nelson Asofa Solomona returns. Our game against the Roosters, I believe that was Angus Crichton's second game, if not his game where he returned. Our game against the Panthers, and of course James Fisher-Harris returns. And then our game against the Bulldogs, and of course Josh Addo-Carr comes back. When can we catch a break? If it isn't the officials, no, I'm joking. But these players just keep on coming back from that. It makes me sick, bro. Anyway, to touch on the Doggy squad, they've got a good squad. Their backs are good, and I agree with Fanatics in saying that our forward pack, in my opinion, as well, looks the better. We did beat them over in Auckland. We versed them. Look, this game here, man, Josh Addo-Carr, such a scary player, honestly. He is undoubtedly in the top 3 fastest players currently going in the NRL, if not top 2. Jason Saab, in my opinion, is another player you can't count out for speed. Anyway, man, they'll be ready. They'll be hungry. They've had some real tough wins, some tough losses too, obviously.
Yeah.
The loss against the Raiders there. So they'll be feeling like they've got a chance, and they do. Let's not disrespect the Bulldogs here.
Mm-hmm.
They have every chance and every right to win this game. But for us, I just feel conversely, we can't lose this game, because if we lose this game, my fear of us predicting us being out of 8 is going to look. Yeah, look, I don't want to go there. All right, I don't want to go there. We had such a beautiful start to the season, so I'll keep my mouth quiet. We'll go straight into the prediction. So, Fanatics, give me your predictions, please. Bulldogs, Warriors, who wins, anytime try scorer, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so obviously backing the boys in here, backing the Warriors. I'm going to back the boys and I'll say Warriors by. I think this will be a close game. It will be a close game, no doubt about it. I'm going to go Warriors by 6 points. So Warriors by 6. Try scorer. You know what? I'm going to go with Rocco Berry. Rocco Berry in his first game, his first road this year, and I'm going to back him to score. So I'm going to go Rocco Berry to score the first try for the game and for the Warriors. So Rocco Berry for me, and I'll back in another try scorer here. I'll go anytime try scorer this time. So I'll go. I'll go Marcelo Montoya against the Dogs, his former side. So Marcelo Montoya to score anytime. Warriors to win by 6.
Yep. No, I hear you. Look, I've got to back the boys here. It's going to be an arm wrestle, I think. But in saying that, will I be surprised if it isn't an arm wrestle and we win 13 plus? No, not at all. In fact, stuff it. Here we go. All right, Warriors 13 plus. Warriors 13 plus. Anytime try scorer. Rocco Berry, baby. You better believe it. A smoky as well, I reckon, for anytime try scorer. Josh Curran. Just watch out for that Sean Johnson ball. That's all I'm going to say. I'll leave it at that. But look, Warriors to win 13 plus. Honestly, 13 plus, I want to back them. It's going to be, it could be an arm wrestle or it could be an open game. And I think the Warriors will be. We've sort of seen the best of the Warriors in the last 3 weeks, but we also haven't in a way. I feel like just due to the scheduling, due to how good these teams have been, to be fair, I don't think we've been allowed to show our game due to injury and all that stuff. I think now's the time. So, yeah, Warriors 13 plus to win that game. All right. That is my opinion. All right, here we go. Hard-hitting questions. All right, here we go. First one. Volkinator is a halfback. Volkman is a halfback. What are your thoughts on that statement, Fanatics? And I know you and I conversed about this privately in Queensland, but give me your thoughts, please.
Yeah, look, I actually agree. I agree with this. Look, I think we can see that when he's played, 5'8", and compare it to when he's played halfback. I know he's played a lot of 5'8" in the New South Wales Cup this year. I think that's been primarily his position. But yeah, I think he's more of a natural halfback, in my opinion. So I can't disagree with you on that one, with that question, and that statement there. So yeah, look, I mean, for me, obviously, I mean, I can't disagree with what you're saying there in regards to him being a halfback. I think he's more of a halfback. I think that's his role. That is his best position. But obviously, he has to play 5'8" because we've got Shaun Johnson there at halfback at the moment. So, I mean, I can't really say too much more about it there, and the fact that I do think he is a halfback.
Yep, no, I agree. And just quickly as well, look, you may or may not disagree in the chat there. Say yes if you agree, say no if you don't. But I think Volkman for mine reminds me of a younger-ish Shaun Johnson, except with a better tactical kicking game. I think Volkman is just a better eyes-up kicker, right, than Shaun Johnson is. I don't know. I just feel like Volkman has a lot of key attributes that will actually make him into a very good halfback. And again, a young player too, but learning again off, one of the greats for the Warriors and Shaun Johnson. So I think it's going to be very beneficial. But no, he's not a 5'8". He's not a 5'8", in the same sense that Shaun Johnson is not a 5'8" either, right? You got to accept it. It is what it is, but what do you do? All right. Oh, hang on. Oh, here we go. Fanatics' favorite sort of topic to discuss. Jason Paris, the CEO of 1NZ, made some tough, strong comments. I'm sure that was emotionally fueled. He did rectify, in other words, he did clean up his comments as well on Twitter. He did rehash over it. But nonetheless, I think the message was still the same, right? The Warriors are getting some calls that just are not great, to be very lackluster there, all right? Just saying that. What are your thoughts on that, Fanatics? Spill the beans. Was he right? Was he wrong? Where do you stand?
Yeah, right. So I saw these comments on Twitter. I think it was during the game or after the game. And then he decided to readdress what he said. So basically, he was saying that, look, the Warriors are playing against. I think he was saying the Warriors are playing against 13 men, and they don't get the stick of the calls. They don't get the calls go their way. Then he went on the lines of, I think he made a big claim that the NRL are cheating. So he used the word cheating. So it's a big word to say. It's a big word to say. But then he rephrased that. He rephrased what he said there, because obviously he was saying that in the motions of him being a fan and being he's a sponsor of the club. So he then went on to say that, look, I still believe that the Warriors get the rough end of the stick with calls in terms of bias. I think he says the NRL shows a bit of bias towards the Warriors, against the Warriors. Sorry. And he also he also said that, look, obviously I'm going to back the club, and show my support. So, look, for me, obviously, I've been someone that doesn't really like to, bang on about refereeing. A lot of Warriors supporters, love to, blame the officiating, when we lose games. And I do believe we get the rough end of the stick. Don't get me wrong. I do believe we get shocking calls each week. And look, I do believe that we get, bias. There's a bit of bias going on in the NRL, with the Warriors. But whether they're cheating, I don't think they're cheating. I wouldn't go to make that big of a claim. I think it's a massive claim by the One New Zealand CEO. But, obviously he rephrased it. So he just basically said, yes, the calls aren't great. So, look, the way I put this is that we are a New Zealand team in an Australian competition. And look, we've had this for years. And I'm not saying we should put up with it at all. I think we as fans, are frustrated. We want to see some consistency with the decision making in terms of officiating calls. And look, refs can make this, refs can make mistakes. They're human. Don't get me wrong there. But we just want to see consistency each week. I don't want to say this, but there are people that will come out and claim, this guy's moaning about the officiating every week. These Warriors supporters are moaning about the refereeing. They sound like sooks. I think that's not what people are understanding, is that we are not trying to sound like sooks. We don't want to. We're not saying, look, the referees are the reason we're losing each week. No, we're trying to see some clarification on the decision making. So that's where I stand on it. I don't really want to go too much on about it, because I think obviously we want to be focusing. We want to be focusing on what's happening on the field with the way we play, instead of looking at calls each week. So I think for me, that's just the way I see it. We need to be able to have that consistency with the officiating on the field, and that is important. It's important. So hopefully we can get more of a clarification. I don't think it's going to happen, though, personally. I just don't see it happening. But that's my overall thoughts on the whole thing. So that's where I stand on it.
Yeah, no, well said. I'm not going to expand too much on what Fanatics said. I think, again, that's spot on. You just want clarification. You just want to see, where's the line in the sand, basically, and how far does the line in the sand go, sort of thing. I will say, though, just quickly that, obviously the Warriors, I hate to be this. I hate to say this, but obviously not only just the Warriors. I get it. I'm just going to say that, but at the same time as well, we've been hit with some pretty bad calls over the years. We have been. But in saying that, though, look, it is what it is. Emotionally, you can get upset about it. Obviously, especially if you have a feeling and emotional attachment to the club, you can absolutely feel it. However, at the same time as well, to how do I say this? To be really diplomatic about it. In other words, just to not go too overboard here. It's one of those things where you just got to put up with it the best you can, and probably look in the team sense. Toy Harris, I think explained it well, right? He without saying too much, I think he just sort of said in a roundabout way, sure, it is challenging, but at the same time as well, we've got to look inwards with our players and how we play and all that stuff. And I just thought that right there is leadership, right? It's easy for someone like in Toy's position, who I'm sure gets frustrated week to week on some of these calls. It's so easy for him to literally pick apart what he feels and how he feels about it, particularly the calls. But he said, no, it's about the players. It's about what we do. It's about us trying to control what we can control. And I thought, you know what?
Yep.
That's all you need to hear. That's all you need to hear. Okay. So as much as I love having Jason Paris, get emotional, bring out that strong sense of that heartiness, if you will. I love it. It's beautiful. It's good to see. But it's good to also see Toy Harris was very calm and collected about it. And, from a player's perspective as well, just come on, boys. On to the next game. Let's try refocus. Yeah. So it was good. It was good to see that.
Yep.
And, that was awesome. So those are my thoughts there. last little bit here before we get into the tips here. Mitch Barnett, Fanatics. This is a hard-hitting question. Obviously,
Right.
you retweeted this, I believe, or shared it. What's the go? What's the information here from what we've got? Please explain.
So basically, from what I heard, he went to see, I think it was a specialist this week to have a look at how things going with his, because he had a neck injury. So obviously, there's been a lot of talk around Mitchell Barnett over the past couple of weeks, and people are wondering whether he'll be back. So yeah, it's a massive concern, isn't it? It's a massive concern at the moment because, I think I feel for Mitch Barnett, really. I really do. He's come to the club and he probably was expected to play a lot of games this year and he's not been able to due to that injury, which is very unfortunate. But look, I really hope Mitchell Barnett's back on the field soon. I really do. I hope this is not the last we see of him this year. Fingers crossed. And, for me, look, Mitchell Barnett is a very good forward. I think he's a very good forward. But unfortunately, he hasn't had a lot of time on the field this year due to injuries. So, due to his neck injury, which you hope that he would be back soon. Fingers crossed. There's no news at the moment. It's all been quiet. The club hasn't really said anything in regards to Mitchell Barnett, but that's just my general thoughts. That's just my quick thoughts on Mitchell Barnett at the moment. So, I really hope he's back soon, but who knows really at the moment.
No, Norris, thanks for that. I guess I'll leave that I'll leave that there. And again, obviously, a fit and firing Mitch Barnett is so crucial for this team, and oh boy, have we missed them. Oh boy, have we missed them. And I guess I'll just leave it with that. All right, here we go. And our round 11 tips. So we'll get straight into it. Fanatics, Storm, right. Broncos, who wins?
This is difficult. This is a difficult game. Well, now the Storm are not playing great. They're not playing great at the moment. Obviously, coming off that loss on the weekend at Magic Round. Broncos having a very good season so far, sitting on top of the NRL ladder. Just having a very good season. The likes of Payne Haas, Reynolds, Farmworth, the Tony Staggs. They've got a very good side. So, look, in regards to this game, it's in Melbourne, and the Melbourne Storm have a great record against the Broncos in Melbourne. The Broncos are playing well, though. I'm going to go with the Storm. It's a risky one. I'm going to go with the Storm at home. I can easily see the Storm losing this, even though, you rarely see Storm lose in Melbourne, but I can see the Broncos getting up and getting the win here, but I'm going to go with the Storm here. It's a bit of a risky tip, but I'm going to go with the Storm at home. I think the Storm to bounce back.
Yeah, look, I'm going to go for the Storm. And I think the reason why we tipped the Storm is even though they're not playing great, I don't think we're ready to believe that they're hanging. I don't think we're ready to believe that this is a different Storm team just yet, right? So I think I think that's why we're tipping the Storm is because the usual story is that Storm usually bounce back, and I am going to say they do. However, if the Storm lose to the Broncos, I don't think I'll see them the same ever again this season. That's all I'll say. So Storm to win for mine.
Yeah.
Panthers, Roosters.
Panthers for me. I think this is pretty much straightforward. Look, I know both teams are coming off losses, aren't they? It's a bit of a. Oh no, sorry. Roosters are coming off a loss. The Panthers are coming off a win over us. So, look, I think the Panthers will win this game. I think it's in Penrith as well. So yeah, Panthers for me. I'll go Panthers. I'll go Panthers by 12. Panthers by 12 for me over the Roosters.
Yeah, look, Panthers for me. I don't know. I still have the Roosters winning it all. Believe it or not, it's silly at this stage. Believe you me, I feel silly, but I took them as the team to win it all. Do I feel like that now? No, not at all. Panthers to
Yep.
me will win, especially at home. Next game here, Rabbitohs and Tigers. Who do you have winning?
Oh, this is pretty much straightforward. It's an easy answer. Rabbitohs will be too good. They'll be far too good for the Tigers. And yes, the Tigers are starting to find a bit of form, but they're coming up against a very, very good Rabbitohs side. The Rabbitohs were outstanding against the Storm. I thought that game was going to be a very close one, but the Rabbitohs completely outclassed the Storm. So look, for me, Rabbitohs by 20 points. They'll be too good for the Tigers. Yeah, I think they'll be too strong.
Yeah, look, Tigers have been running on a very good run, as of recent, and obviously fairy tale-esque, if you will. However, I just think the Rabbitohs will be too tough a task. However, in saying that, in recent years, these two have had one memorable game. I think it's where George Burgess, scored the try or appeared to have scored the try.
Yep.
Tigers took the ball from him and ran virtually 100 meters down the field to score. And obviously on replay, it was actually scored. So again, that's how close these two teams here can be. But Rabbitohs won. Cowboys, Dragons, Fanatics.
The Dragons are in a mess. They're in a mess. I'm going to go to Cowboys. Cowboys at home. I think Cowboys will take a lot of confidence out of that win over the Sydney Roosters at Suncorp. I think the Cowboys will win this, and I think they'll win it well. I'm going to go Cowboys by 16 points. I think they'll be too good for the Dragons.
I'm tipping the Dragons. Why? I love chaos. Look, we speak about the Dragons being a mess, but I reckon their recent loss against the Tigers and what's been going on has been great. But I'll tell you what, I feel like if there was ever a game where Ben Hunt's going to stand up and lead the troops, I think it's this one here. Now, granted, the Cowboys haven't had a good run until they versed the Roosters, and as of recent weeks. So are they still out of the woods yet? No, technically not.
Nope.
I know myself and Wobbling Jaw had a bit of a yarn about my tip here of the Dragons. But look, I want to believe in the Cowboys. I absolutely do. But I just feel for me, I need to see this game here. Against the Dragons have. I want them to convince me, basically, the Cowboys. So until then, I wanted to pick the Dragons. And after this week's little drama as well regarding Jack Bird and Jaden Slaughter, I think the Dragons are going to be ready to swing. I really do. There's a lot of pressure on them. That's all I'll say. All right. Raiders, Eels.
Raiders. Raiders at home. Now, Raiders are in some good form at the moment. I think this going into the same, they could be four in a row. I think that is. So, they've turned a corner, haven't they? The Raiders over the past couple of weeks, playing very well. Parramatta obviously losing to the Titans. I didn't tip that at all. I thought the Eels were going to win that. Moses is out for this game. Huge out. Massive out for Parramatta. So I think the Raiders will win, and I think they'll win it at home. Now, I'm going to go Raiders. I'll go Raiders by 8. Raiders by 8 for me, I think. I think it'll still be a little bit closer-ish of a game. So Raiders by 8 for me over the Eels.
Yeah, look, Raiders for me too. I think they're firing just at the right time as well, trying to find their combinations. I think White and Fogarty are slowly getting there if they're not there already. I think there'll be too much, and obviously with Mitch Moses out as well, it'll be a one-man job there for Dylan Brown. I just don't think I'm not saying he's not good enough to. I just think he really needs his complementary partner in Mitch Moses. So Raiders for me.
Yeah.
Second to last game, we have the Knights against the Titans. Fanatics, your thoughts?
I don't know. I don't know with these two teams. Now, the Titans had a good win. It's Parramatta, then at Suncorp. The Knights obviously coming off their bye, which apparently they were in Bali for their bye week. Interesting there. But I'm going to go with the Knights, actually. I'm going to go with the Knights at home. Come off the bye. So, Yeah, I'm going to go Newcastle Knights to win in a close one. I think this will be a close game. So Knights for me.
Yeah, look, I'm actually tipping the Titans. I like what they brought against the Eels Magic Round. And I really think they're all sort of firing. And they're actually my HTB guarantee as well. So Titans to win against the Knights. All right, last game. Sea Eagles against the Sharks. This is going to be a good game. Thoughts on this one here?
Yes, so it's the battle of the beaches. So you got the Seagulls and the Sharks here. So, look, for me, the Seagulls' form hasn't been great lately. They've sort of dropped off, where they were at the start of the season. And Cronulla, surprise, lost to the Dolphins. They were simply outplayed by the Dolphins in that game. So, yeah, look, I'm expecting a big bounce back for the Sharks here. So I'm going to go with the Sharks to win, even though it's a Manly home game. I'm going to go with the Sharks to win for me, and I think, I'll go Sharks. Sharks by probably 12 points for me. Sharks. I think they'll be too strong for the Seagulls.
Yep. I actually forgot who I took in this game. Do you remember who I tipped? I think I tipped. I don't want to get this wrong. Did I tip the Seagulls? I think I tipped the Seagulls, eh? I think I'm not sure. Anyway, look, I'm not going to mull over this. I'm pretty sure I tipped, and I think I tipped the Sharks. Yeah, I think I tipped the Sharks. I'm not sure. I'll leave that because I'm not sure who I tipped, but you'll see it for sure. Absolutely, you will.
Yep.
But I'll leave that one there. Apologies, but no, I'm pretty sure I tipped the Seagulls for the upset win. Yeah, Seagulls
really?
to win that one. Yeah, for sure. All right, last segment, guys, before we close this off. Fanatics, who am I? All right, you ready?
Oh, boy.
I was born on the 2nd of the 6th in 1984 in Sydney, Australia. I played 94 games for the Warriors between 2011 to 2014. My preferred position is a second row. I played lock as well as 5'8", which I'm most memorable for in the Warriors. Represented Tonga, and I also played for Eels and Manly. Who am I?
Oh, gosh.
So, and this person here is a big person. They were tall, 6'4", so they weren't a small person.
Palestina?
No. And played most of their time 5'8" for the Warriors. 5'8" and lock on the odd occasion.
5'8" and lock.
So from 2011,
right.
So the year we were in the grand final, 2014.
Was it Michael Witt?
No.
He
represented Tonga.
Tonga. Oh gosh. Tui Lola here?
Nah, close, but the same cloth, if you will. The same cloth, if you will. Yeah. Let me know if you can't figure it out. That's okay.
So he played for Tonga, and who else did he play for?
Yeah, played for Tonga, played for Manly as well as the Eels. Born in Sydney, and came over and played for the Warriors from 2011 to 2014. Arguably one of the more stand-up players we've had play for us.
Oh, I think I know now. Is it Mateo?
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. Fanatics. Well done. Fanatics got it. Feletti, Mateo, Warriors 165. Look, in saying that, before you go, Fanatics, where can we find you before we head off?
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube. So that's Warriors NRL Fanatics. You can search me up on there, and just hit a little bit of a milestone on YouTube. So I've reached the 2,300 subscriber mark yesterday. So obviously on the road to 3K. So I'm trying to see if I can get there at least by the end of this year. So that'll be a big achievement and goal of mine of the channel. So you can go there and find me there, Warriors NRL Fanatics on YouTube. Go and subscribe to my channel there. And I do exactly what Hold the Ball does. I do Warriors content, purely Warriors content, NRL content, previews, reviews, reaction videos, as well. So you can find that sort of content on my channel. And I'm also on Instagram as well, which I do a lot of stuff on there. Post a lot of news and team lists and videos and press conferences and all that sort of stuff. So you can go and follow me on at Warriors NRL Fanatics on Instagram. And I'm also on TikTok as well. So at Warriors NRL Fanatics, all on those platforms, and on Twitter as well. So pretty much on everywhere these days. So you can find me all on there. But thanks, Hold the Ball, for having me on. I really appreciate you having me on the channel tonight. And it's been a great show, and I really enjoyed it. And thanks to all the viewers for tuning in as well.
Awesome, Az. And again, thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who contributed and commented and watched. Again, feel free and please subscribe to Warriors NRL Fanatics. Help them get to that 30K. Again, welcome. Thank you for joining in. And good night. Be well. And we will see you guys very soon, no doubt, on a device near you. All right, take it easy.
Yep.
See you guys next time. And just remember, hold the ball. Take it easy.
Go the Warriors. Go the
Warriors.
Warriors. Up the Warriors.